train would run over us, but I was behind him. I wouldn't let him get away from me. He was a big brother. To tell you how big he wanted to be dad. When I went to New York at the high school, my brother and I would be walking down the street. We'd come to a stoplight, and he'd stick his hands out in front of me. He didn't want me to walk in the street. He'll get run over by a car. I would be so annoyed. I said, I'm grown. He's sticking his hands out. He was protecting me, protecting his younger brother. And over the years, we have grown. I respect him a lot. You know, my mom was 16 years old when he was born. And I don't know why they didn't name him Rufus. But I got the name. So he's Lorenzo, better known as Big Brother. And Lorenzo, I just want to say that over the years, there have been bumps and hills and valleys. But I'm thankful for you today being my older brother.
And I am Luther. Oh, you're going to go in order.
So if you ever want to know the order of birth, just watch this.
All right.
Oldest to youngest.
I don't know him as long as Junior, and I've not probably been around him as long as Junior. But in older age, I've become a lot closer to him. I'm more concerned with Lorenzo has wisdom. If you listen to him, you'll learn a lot. He also has a lot of sayings such as, "It is what it is." You're going out of here. Anyway, I'm going to leave a couple for the other people, but yeah, he's got a lot of good stuff. He's been a good brother, We're blessed to have a brother like Lorenzo, And like you said, we've had lumps and bumps, but hey, here we are, and this is really our older brother.
Yeah.
Okay?
Finally, my turn. I'm Luther. And I am, of course, obviously the fourth child. And to put it bluntly, I am very proud of my older brother. He has me by he has me by 10 years and about 10 years and 2 months. And Lorenzo, he has impressed me over these years that I've known him to be a man of wisdom and knowledge. I can kind of narrow that to street wisdom and knowledge. I wouldn't go so far and venture to say heavenly wisdom, but it is my dear and honest prayer that it would become that. See, Lorenzo, I really admire him because, he's our oldest brother. And he came along at a time when times were hard. And what my older brother did is what he had to do, in my honest opinion. See, I don't know what I would have done if I was where he was. But I can honestly say now, as I speak, from a mature, responsible vision or point of view, that my brother Lorenzo, in that he was in a position to do, he did. And I just thank God for enabling him and giving him the desire and the resolve to do what he had to do. So I've learned a great deal from my brother. Both I've had to manage myself in life. So he has taught me a thing or two, or you can spread that a 3 or 4 maybe. You know what I'm saying about life. I've learned some things from Lorenzo, my older brother, of how I should conduct my life because of his wisdom and his knowledge about that. I want to say that, you see, Lorenzo didn't have to do it, but he has done a great deal for me and our family. He has provided when he had to, and that is why, that is one reason, at least stating at least lightly, where we are today. In my opinion, if it wasn't for our brother Lorenzo, if he had a different attitude about him, when he really had the opportunity to do something and to really make a difference, it might have been different, a big difference in our lives today as we speak. So I'm just thankful. I give God thanks. I just praise him and give him the glory and the honor for using my brother Lorenzo to do what he had to do when he had to do it. And I just wish him the very best. I pray for his health and strength. And above all, I pray for Lorenzo's salvation. That is my earnest prayer. So again, Lorenzo, I just thank you, my brother, for everything you've done. May the Lord bless you.
Amen. Okay, I am Clarence Bernard. I am the fifth of 9, and if you can look at my brothers, you can tell that I think I got all the looks in the family. Not to mention,
That's a laugh.
not to mention the hair.
You got over there.
Okay, well, in all sincerity, I was like, I think 7 years old when Lorenzo went in the military. And as my other brothers have said, and I'm sure Harold will agree with me, I really didn't get to know Lorenzo until I was in high school. And I recall my first trip to New York, finally got away from South Carolina, finally got away from the farm, finally said goodbye at Yamasee, got on the train heading north. But Lorenzo met me at the station. And like Rufus, he was ever so protective, you know, tell me do this, don't do that, etc., etc. So he's always been that older brother that looked out for everybody else, okay? And he does that today. You know, he's always giving good, solid advice. Now, at times you have to just stop and listen to Lorenzo because he's constantly talking, and every now and then this little golden nugget will pop out. And if you're not listening carefully, that golden nugget will just fly right by you, and you say, oh my God, he told me something I should have been listening to. So I have learned over the years that as he talks, you know, he says a lot, but I'm listening for this little golden nugget because that's what I want to walk away with. And he has given me a lot of golden nuggets over the years, but just little tidbits about what to do, how to do it, when not to do it, those kinds of things. Lorenzo being the oldest, he has contributed to the family like Rufus and Lorenzo have said, Luther have said. He has contributed to the family immensely. I will go as far as saying that if it wasn't for Lorenzo, we would probably not be where we are today as a family. Because he jump-started things for us, okay? He helped our mother and father when we were not in a position to help. I mean, we were still in school. We were not working. Lorenzo was the one that left the house, and he gave back to the family. So he gave all of us a jump start to allow all of us to contribute and to be where we're at today. Okay. I'm going to come back to them. I'm about to get a little bit emotional.
Your time is up too.
No. So what I want to say to Lorenzo is that, you know, you've been a great older brother, like Lucas and Lorenzo said. I just want to wish you well and thank you for all the good stuff you guys. Come on, get
Okay, good. Well, I'm Harold, Leroy, Nene, whichever you prefer to call me. Mitch the son. If you've been counting, you know the order of birth I am, so I won't repeat that. I really didn't know Lorenzo until he came home from the army. I kind of wondered whether he existed. We always heard about this brother, and you know, I don't know. I was beginning to say, well, you know, kind of show me the proof. Well, we had a picture of him, and this picture kind of looked. You know how they used to do us? They used to brighten us up in the pictures. I know, some of you probably don't know about this. But even when I came along in '68, they took my high school picture, they kind of brightened it up a bit. So I was looking at this picture of Lorenzo, and then one day, sure enough, here he comes. In that Eisenhower jacket, you know, that tie tucked in the shirt. I said, this is not my brother. This is my brother. Well, you know, it was just a picture, and my real brother did show up. I really didn't get to know him until I was pretty much a teenager, because he was gone, as my older brothers and sisters mentioned. He was pretty much gone, you know, as I was coming along. But I did get the benefit from what he did. And Bernard and kind of alluded to it, but I'm going to go into a little more detail. And it's all good. You know, when this house was built, it may not seem like a big deal now, but nobody else had indoor plumbing but us. And people would come from far and near. That was like, maybe Hampton was far and Euclid was near. Just to see that house. You know, with its hardwood floor and central heating and indoor plumbing. If you don't think indoor plumbing is important, you know, try going to the bathroom at the outhouse when you're about 6 years old, and your brothers all told you about the boogeyman. You know, and you're so scared, you don't know whether to go to the bathroom or whether you just, you know, not. So the unselfishness of my brother, Lorenzo, because he sent money home when he went off to the army that Mom and Dad thought they were saving for him, but in reality he was giving to them. And because of that, we were able to build this house. It may not sound like a big deal, except that, you know, how do you pay a $60 house note when Daddy was making $25 a week? So that was the start of things that allowed us to kind of shape who I was and how I felt about myself. That thing we refer to now as self-esteem. So I felt pretty important. And that was largely due to the unselfishness of, you know, my oldest brother. And then as time went on, and you know, if you're growing up on the farm, there's nothing like, you know, Daddy would let us go off to work in New York because that was a means of contributing more money to the family. So he would be here working the farm, and we'd be off working in New York, and other brothers would be in the service, and we pooled our efforts collectively, and that has probably been the only thing that allowed us to achieve some of the things that we're proud of today. But it all started with Lorenzo and his unselfishness, you know, of going off and being brave to go off to war, and Korea was going on then. So he came home and told us about all the wonderful things he had seen, which made us want to go off and explore too. So as one who came along lately, I felt a great sense of not burden, but certainly determination to make good as the sixth child of all those things that others haven't had invested. And as Mom would say, you know, as I went away to college, she said, when you go away to college, Leroy, you should do better than all the rest. That didn't sound, you know, that was frightening because I hadn't done anything better than Bernard. And the thought that I was going to go off to college and be smarter than him was just, you know, way too much for me. But, you know, a lot of that started, you know, with Lorenzo, that desire to go off and do well, make the family proud, and especially not disappoint Mom and Dad. So, Lorenzo, thanks for all that.
Okay, I hope I'm speaking loudly enough, but I'm Pat.
and I won't do numbers or anything, but Bernice started off by saying that Lorenzo often gives these little pearls of wisdom, and another one is, it is what it is. And so we're here today because it is what it is, and we're celebrating and honoring you, our big brother. My husband Stuart could not be here today, but in terms of big brothers, Lorenzo, he's adopted you. And Lorenzo will frequently call, and he'll answer, in the voicemail, he'll say, "Hello, this is your big brother." And Stuart and our joke is, "I wonder who that is." You know, and he'll also say, "This is your big brother, Lorenzo." Okay. Next time he'll call if we're not there. "Hello, this is Lorenzo, your big brother." And we're like, "I wonder who that is." But I'm passing this on for Stuart. He enjoys you, he appreciates you, and so you've not only been a big brother for us, but you have also been an adopted big brother for him. My husband's an only child, so that's special for him. So, thank you.
Hello. I'm Sandra. I'm the youngest of the 9. And in a nutshell, my story is that I didn't know who Lorenzo was, period. I do have memories of him. I got to know him when I was basically an adult. But I do have some memories of him as a child because when he would come home, my mother would say, "Oh, your big brother's coming home." And it's like, if I had done anything wrong that I had gotten away with Mom, she would always remind me, "He's coming home, so you're going to have to do what I tell you to do." So I would go and run and hide under the bed until he left. That's all I remember. But, jokes aside, I'm very thankful to have a big brother. And I think, as everyone has said, the direction that the family has gone in addition to our parents, was largely due to Lorenzo's input. And I'm thankful that their first child was a guy, a boy, instead of a girl, because I think it would have made a difference if it was a girl child, oldest child, as opposed to a boy child, meaning Lorenzo. But we're just thankful, all of us. I'm very thankful to have a big brother, to have all of my big brothers and all of my big sisters. Most especially Lorenzo, because he is getting on here.
Sandra, this is Lorenzo, your brother.
Now I know who he is.
Before we bring Andy back to you, we just want to acknowledge our sister Sylvia. She's not here today because of illness. Sylvia is between Harold and Matt, okay? And our prayers are out to her, but because of illness, she could not be with us today, okay? Secondly, before I turn it back to Andy, I want to acknowledge someone who has, her late husband and herself has been a true friend of the family for many, many years, and that is Miss Richardson, okay? Now, let me just, her late husband was the principal of Robert Smalls High School for many years. And Mom and Dad met them through just almost an accident. Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, that's what the house was being built. And they came out and they were such gracious friends. And somehow you have a high school principal, college-educated, wife, elementary teacher, and a librarian, college-educated, connecting with our parents who did not finish high school. Okay, so we were quite honored to have them to be friends of the family. And Ms. Richardson, let me just say on behalf of everybody, we thank you from the bottom of our heart, okay? and we are glad that you're here.
There's another, well, everyone here is important, okay? And we love each of you collectively and individually. But there are certain individuals I think we need to give special emphasis. And one is of those, in addition to Mrs. Richardson, is Cousin William. Cousin William, while our brother is the oldest of our generation, Cousin William is the eldest statesman of all the Mitchells. I don't think there are any Mitchells that I know that are older than you that are living today.
No.
So, let's first give him a round of applause for that. And Cousin William, probably for the younger ones of us, more so than the older, but if I'm wrong, you'll forgive me. But he was like an uncle in my mind more than a cousin. Cousin William's dad, Paul, and our grandfather, Daddy's father, Clarence, were brothers. And that's the relationship. So they were first cousins. And their children and some of my brothers and sisters and I, we kind of came along. I think they all kind of planned, let's have a child this year, and because we were kind of matched up children-wise. Cousin William has been a leader in the church. I know when Dad and Cousin William were there sitting on the front as stewards, it was certainly an inspiration to me. He was always there with the family that Mom and Dad could always call on in times of need. Sir, I just want to thank you very much for gracing us with your presence.
Okay. Lorenzo, is there anything you'd like to say? You don't have to.
At this time, I would just like to thank everyone for coming. It's a pleasure to come and share with us.
Hey, we can't hear you, man.
It's a pleasure to see you and to have you come and share the day with us. And to all of my brothers and sisters, I appreciate all the remarks that you gave me. I did it for the sake of the family. Okay,
Mr. Tate.
Where are you, Andy?
And